those are the current guest prices, and I didn't really put anything together for proposed increases to guest prices. I would say just looking across the board, if your K6 lunch, 7-12 lunch, breakfast, K12 adult lunch, and adult breakfast all went up a quarter, I would say it's feasible for your guest fees also to go up a quarter. It's reasonable, in my opinion. So,
Are any of those, do any of those get kickbacks at all?
that I do not.
We don't have a lot.
Okay, so what about your next prices? You don't have
from the state? Yes?
Yes.
No. When I do the reports, it's just students and I think it's only students actually. Yeah.
They really have so few of them. I just.
Oh, well, no, I do put them on my report. I tell them how much we get per guest and staff.
And so they're currently not the same price.
Oh, I don't know about all the prices.
You don't know what price.
I don't know what the prices. I just look, yes, if you're asking if we get money back from them, I do put them on my report when I send it to any BBBA. Yes, they're included.
Okay, so what are we thinking about guests or people? Either we table this or we make a motion that they coincide with the other prices.
So say we all took a 25-cent increase, your kid breakfast would be going from $3.88 to $4.13, adult breakfast would go from $4.08 to $4.33, kid lunch would go from $3.93 to $4.18, and adult lunch would go from $4.50 to $4.75.
Okay, motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation for guest prices.
That's one.
Okay, James moved, and Collette seconds. Any discussion? Everybody clear as mud on this? Any discussion? Discussion? Okay, all in favor then of following the superintendent's recommendation on guest prices, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Okay, thank you for that. I totally missed that.
It's also that same odd numbers.
Okay,
I
now
doesn't like odd numbers.
we're gonna go to the elementary handbook. Shirley?
Well, everything that we talked about last month, nothing has changed. I was just waiting for the prices for the food, and once that's added in, it's ready to go. So
Okay, so you're saying that it's pretty much ready to go, so.
from what we,
I would then ask for a motion, to accept the second reading of the elementary handbook.
I still move.
Okay, Collette moves, is there a second? Okay, there's a second by James, is there discussion?
Well, my only thing about this, I agree, it's pretty much ready, and to me, I would like to see it before we pass it, after it's been updated, so I don't know if we can wait until.
The only thing is if we pass it now, then he gets to get on the ball and get it moving.
well, that can be done, except that it needs to be done before school starts, and parents need to read it, and students need to read it. And it needs to be signed off. It's got the acceptable use policy, all that in there too, that's got to be signed off on. So it doesn't matter to me, I can get it done right away. I would just wait to make those changes until we got the prices.
I'm okay with passing it, but I said this at policy committee too, but, I feel like we've been doing stuff to policies and then it doesn't always follow through, just like that thing that I asked to be changed in here. We talked about that when we passed it the
It's
second time
changed.
last year. So, if once everything is changed, it could be uploaded and then a notice sent so that we can look at it and make sure it's.
And the only thing I'm gonna say to that, if we pass this motion, is that you send one to all the board members, and
Fair
give them
enough.
a chance, and if they don't get back to you in a couple days, you go ahead and blast it, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I interested, but it's not outside the prices, it's just the teacher names, right?
They're all, they just need to be changed though. Everything that's highlighted is either changed or needs to be
Right,
changed.
yeah, I think it's just wherever teachers we have to do.
All right, so we have a, motion on the floor to accept the elementary school handbook second reading. If this passes, it's Harry has the ability then to put it in action immediately. Again, consideration, he will send it out to all board members to make sure they can look it over if they like. All those in favor, was there any more discussion? Any more discussion? Any more discussion? All in favor of passing the elementary school handbook second reading, please say aye. Motion passes, so it's your baby, okay? All right, Mr. House.
Yes.
high school handbook first reading, anything you wanna say?
No, I think we had a very good discussion at policy and worked through some of the questions
And I
that
think
were
we
there and.
changed it. I don't know if we have the new one after, because I think that this one that we have now probably got printed before.
Vanessa had asked, I put the proposed one is on the school website, it's linked in there. The yellow is what needed to be changed. I just updated the French down to now, I'll get that there. And then I had to look at, we had one question on the, objectives part of it, whether it's matched with our code that I was gonna do it to make sure that.
Okay. So I will entertain a motion to accept the high school handbook first reading.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second? Yes, probably move second to take the high school handbook first reading. Discussion, I would just say to Mr. Haas is that we need to have the two readings. So my thinking will be make sure that all board members get that, and then when we have a special meeting in 2 weeks, we'll make the second reading. We won't now wait to the August meeting, because that'll be too late.
Yeah.
We'll not wait till the August meeting. We'll do it at our next meeting, our next special meeting, and then you'll have the thing to go.
And I
Because
think
it
you said
needs
you
two,
kind
it needs two
of, and I
readings.
think you kind of posted a link in case parents seen something.
Yep.
That it'll want to change.
You can do that too, but it's not officially passed until there's 2 meetings.
Right, yeah.
Okay?
I would just like to say that, first of all, I think Mr. Harris did a good job reading it this way, and that's awesome. I hope everybody looks at this though, because there's a lot of changes, and he did a good job of explaining to me why. I still think that the cell phone policy is pretty tough, especially when you compare it to the grade school one, which is definitely not even close. So I hope everybody looks at it, and if they have feedback.
Well, as an ex-teacher, if you're not tough on the school, on the policy, you're gonna get screwed. So,
Well, and that was part of his argument. My concern is that it's tougher than our tobacco policy, if that makes sense.
It's gonna be a lot more difficult to enforce on high school than it is in the elementary.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, this is much better than how we used to, I feel the same way that we were happy with it, as to how it looks and things or whatever and stuff, so, yeah.
all right, so seeing no more discussion, is there any more discussion? Okay, all in favor then accepting the high school handbook first reading, please say aye. All opposed? Motion passes, and like I said, Mr. Haas, we will try to get this approved at our next special meeting. We will not wait till the August meeting so you can move ahead. Okay, weight room fobs.
We're adding Mike.
Oh yeah, excuse me, Mr. Fromm, I did not do that on purpose. I would never do that, Mr. Fromm. So Mr. Fromm, do you have anything you wanna add?
Well, I just, a heads up that you'll see some bills coming from P&F on buses, as not this is the time of year we have to do the DOT certification. So they have been doing it, not a lot of things, but just some labor, so. We're running through all of them. The electric bus, I think it's gonna be here this week or next week. I mean, everything, it's ready to go, I think so.
Well, we're here in August.
Yeah,
The chargers,
chargers installed, chargers up and it's ready, so I'm gonna call Bismarck tomorrow because I think with the 4th, and I was gone for a couple of years, and I think they just kinda let it slide. When is registration again for, high school and grade school?
So the high school, we haven't determined exactly which grades when, but 7th, 8th, 11th, 12th of August.
Okay, so, yeah. So we gotta have at least maybe on the 13th, a bus driver meeting, if possible, that Wednesday. Figure out these routes. I have not reached out to Jeff Ingerson. I will do that. Do we know, is that set up that it would have the afternoon last period free? Or be able to be over to get a bus at 3?
We can, I haven't got that far yet, but we can, if that's what you need.
The morning's not an issue, because he can be back by 8 or
the music teacher, last hour.
Could be free, I mean, you definitely could be
Okay.
scheduled that way.
That's my go-to.
Thank you, Susan.
When I saw for them before, I think that
Yeah.
there was a band last hours. There was a band, but you know.
We'll figure it out, working on it right now, so,
Okay.
yep.
Now, that's your call.
Okay,
Okay,
It's not gonna be as difficult.
yeah, I know, but it's just exciting we have an elementary teacher.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
We go from, a panic of, no drivers to,
Yeah.
we're sitting, I mean, I had, like Sean called me to make sure that we were still gonna use them this year. So that was nice to hear, as a sub, so now we went from, I didn't know what we were gonna do to, we're good, cause Brian's back for, one more year, but he's said, that's it.
He's walking out the door, he's walking out the door with you.
Yes, and,
We're lucky to have both of you.
so, but one thing I think that we need to start, this is working at P&F, but it's only working because we have Brian. And, Brian has fixed a lot of small things, mirrors and some doors, and he hasn't done any oil changes, but he's done some small stuff. And I think there's a need for a person that's mechanically inclined that could, you pay him separate. Maybe he does or doesn't have a route in the morning or in the afternoon, but he has that ability.
Like
And
a part-time,
even-
just a repair, just to do all.
yeah, just to be, if he's in when the buses come in, make sure like his time 8 to whatever, 3, or just a salary, some type, figure out a salary. And then a separate for bus driving, because that is a whole separate deal.
Mhm.
And kind of how Brian was set up, he was salary, but he would run a route. He stayed, if a bus broke down, he stayed that night till it was ready to go, or something was set for the next day. So, I think I've had a couple people ask me, like, what could they do, so we just kind of talked that way around it. I think with a small ad in the paper or something, just stating that,
Look at that like for next year.
yeah, and something that, you wouldn't have to do it now, but maybe like by spring, just by saying, hey, this is something coming up. You'd have Ryan still able to show person some things. He's had 27 years or something in that building. A lot of little things that.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Brian doing a lot of the mowing too?
Yeah.
He's doing all the mowing, so it's like, that's something that we need to think about too.
Yeah.
That the janitors are not doing the mowing, Brian is doing the mowing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew that, but because they're busy, yeah, Brian's doing the mowing.
he started doing it as soon as the grass started growing.
So I'm just saying, that it's something we can look at down the road here, but I'm just saying, I know that Brian's been doing the mowing.
Right, I think we only have 3 janitors on it.
Yeah.
Keith, Julie,
Yep, so another thing to think about, just so we know, I don't realize, I don't think that people, I think the board does, but I don't think people realize what Brian Machek does for the school.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be, I just think there's a lot there, but I don't think you have to do it right now, but I just think we gotta think about it for spring, putting,
maybe start advertising like January, February,
Yeah.
so that maybe this
Yeah.
person will be in place by
Anyway.
March.
yeah, it does, this has worked, but it's worked because Brian and I have been available to take it out to Fike or go get them. And, if you just have bus drivers who are teachers or maybe have another job, they're not around, and nobody at Fike has a bus license, which would be a big deal. They
And
can-
doing that small stuff is gonna be cheaper to pay somebody by the hour than to pay
Yeah.
them $120.
Yeah,
It's replacing your,
It's
and,
very,
and
very,
it's,
very,
it's been really good, like, when you guys approved that, we fixed that 14 passenger. Having 3 14 passengers has been big. We have really been able to use that well, so.
okay, anything else, Mr. Brown? I guess I'd just like to say, make sure we don't go into things that, FCCL and FBLA too. I believe Mr. Olmsted plays in the Nationals and
Yeah.
FBLA,
Yeah,
and then FCCLA they place too, so.
and then, we got tractor driver going to state and
Yeah.
FFA and.
So just, well, there's stuff going on all
Well,
summer.
this summer has been really,
Pretty,
it's
we have a
been really
busy
busy
program.
between the FCCLA and the FFA stuff going on. June was, first week they went out of school, they were all in stuff. And then all the wrestling and football and basketball camps, now we have volleyball camp today. So, not a lot of time.
Okay, again, wonderful job, Mr. Crum, thank you for your work. Any other questions for Mr. Crum before I did not need to overlook him? Okay, so we're gonna go to the weight room fogs, we have all got a policy on that, I believe. If we need to update that, as to what the concerns were. And so who's gonna take charge of Mr. Law, are you gonna take charge?
Certainly can. So there was a discussion, I'm trying to find that particular document.
Yeah, I gotta find it, I have it right here.
There was a discussion about, I believe, Brad, you.
Yeah, I was just more concerned about the policy and, former students using it. At what age is, I know there's former students in their early 20s that go there and use it. Is that the school district's responsibility to allow, adults using it? I didn't know the policy up until a month or so ago, but is it being enforced, or is it?
I think we had another page, I mean, this was the one that they signed when we did the law, but there was a page, I don't know if you ever got it, or.
Well, I
It was a
saw that
couple
one
years
too,
ago,
there's,
before it was on,
Yeah.
that when he explained as to who could go in there and.
it's 4 years after high school graduation.
Anyone else?
No, because it says only if you're in the.
You have to be in.
Okay, maybe it's not just that, but there was something I thought about hours. I know there was another thing that, did the students get something like when they, after they signed it, that would say, I remember they had to be out of there by a certain time. The summer was a lot more hours, and school started, I thought there was something else that we didn't have, but I couldn't find it either. That we would say that they had to be out of there, like, for example, if it was a school day, they had to be out of there like 7:45 or 7:30, or, and what time they could go in there again, I don't know whatever happened to that. It's the only reason I could find that.
So are these files, is this something that needs to be reviewed every year?
Well, when you set up the fob, when we have like graduated students, you can put an expiration date on it, and it'll quit working at that time. I know, like, we didn't have a whole lot of training on it, but I've been messing around with it a little bit more. So, for example, we had a senior that just graduated, and I understood that if you were a non-athlete, you get 2 years, and then collegiate, if you were a collegiate sport, you could do it while you were competing. That's the way that I thought I remembered it. But when we sign up, we can put an expiration on there. So, for example, if we want, we could do, it's just a matter of how the board wants to handle it, or how Mr. Locke wants to handle it. You could put, that it locks them out, we start August 15th, that when it's done, and then if the kids are coming back to school, they come in and we reactivate it, however we want to handle that.
We've had some, there were some things, and then I had a kid, this was 2 or 3 years ago. I had the door shut, the kid thought, well, it's just shut back. He picked the lock and got in and worked out. So we did some stuff with him. And then he wrote a letter, and he just stated, that's the only thing he has to do. And he had just taken was on a weightlifting challenge on his body, and he had just drank his protein shake and came in and he couldn't, would have been locked out. And now he was suspended for a couple of weeks from it. And I kind of sat back later and I started thinking, there really isn't anything. And we watch it. We get updates from Keith when he's cleaning. If there's something wrong, we go back and look on the cameras. We've had some issues. We jumped on it, suspended some kids, took away their privileges. It's been policed. I don't want to put a hammer on it. I guess that's what I would say.
Right, I mean, but yet at the same time,
Yep.
I'm
There
just
has to be
advocate
something.
with liability issues. I don't wanna let anybody in there,
Yeah.
they come in at midnight and they're by
No,
themselves.
and as of right now, I mean, when I see those, graduates who are workers, they're not, going to college, I see them in the morning. And when they're there at 6, and, when I come back, they're gone, but,
And
Yeah.
also, when you set the fobs, you can say that
you
they
can
can't
set
come
that
until
time,
6,
yeah.
or something. Yeah, the other thing too is I also don't need a 15-year-old girl in there with a 20-year-old.
Right, yeah, that's the one thing, and maybe that's the thing we said for those guys, that it has to be morning only. I mean, I'm okay with those kids coming in there that, that have graduated and come back for 4 years or whatever, 2 years, whatever, just returning. But maybe it is the morning only, because
If they're serious enough,
they'll do that.
Well, I think we have students that use both morning and evening, so we're really not gonna get it
Yeah.
as separated, as long as we keep it within, 2 or 4 years. I mean, most of those kids that are in there will know who that kid is. We had, like Mike said, we had a couple issues and the kids were like, hey, this happened. We met up and, visited with them. Some were lost their privileges for good, some were temporarily suspended.
I mean, that helps me, that's good to hear, because, I guess we hadn't asked you either in a long time as to how it was going, if it was being policed or whatever. I mean, that's my biggest thing, is the liability of male,
Yeah.
female, and also somebody getting hurt and nobody's with it.
There should be something in writing, though, that states what the years are, and I'm fine with whatever the board decides. I can go in and police that. But I just want to throw my thing out that I'm okay with kids that are 4 years out, because I haven't seen any abuse by those kids. So
basically, we're wanting to make sure that there are a proper set of expectations in place.
yeah, I was really shocked at people, how many that use it. And some of these kids now are past the 4 years next year, and they can go downtown. There's a spot. So
Okay, all right, so,
This indicates that any of our graduates can go for 4 years.
okay, that's the one I thought.
Right.
That's the way I'm reading it.
Right.
I thought that's what I read too.
Yeah,
It's the Pheasant, Bowden, Maddox, or gigantiums that are not in collegiate or professional, that will not be.
okay, so what I'm hearing is we're gonna leave this in place, we're gonna change nothing here. So
as
what
long
I'm
as we
hearing,
know that they're
we
policed.
just wanted to talk about it and get it, I think Robbie wanted to be, brought into how this works, and so that's okay, that's what he's on board for.
And then everybody knows there is cameras.
Yeah, so and again.
And the kids are pretty good about, they come when there's somebody screwing around, and they'll rat them out because they don't want it closed. When it was closed, yeah, we've had it closed, we've closed it, so nobody can go in.
So if there's any concerns, you will handle them or bring them to us, so, okay? We're gonna move on then? Okay, so my next one then would be, preschool rental agreement, so what?
Yeah, so I visited with Sarah Schindler a little bit about, kind of how the preschool program has looked in years past, specifically looking at the rental agreement. It's changed a few different times according to her. One of the things that we look at that really caught my attention was, our rental fee. Historically, the rental fee was $100 a month to rent a room in the elementary school to conduct her preschool. But when I was visiting with her, she brought up a really good, interesting point to me. So with her rental fee of $100 a month, it would come out to, in the years past, that rental fee was over the course of 9 months, it would come out to $900, which I don't think is a tremendous number, but she did bring up a good point in that, we lease a corner of the weight room to High Performance Incorporated for $1. So looking at that, we're essentially what it looks like, and this, take it for what it's worth, but it looks, from the outside looking in, it appears that we place a greater value in what that High Performance does for our students than what preschool does for their students moving forward. That's what it just appears to me. So what she was requesting, and that's why I wanted to bring this up to you guys, is it possible to adjust or to reduce that monthly rate so it falls, so it looks, or it starts to fall more in line with what High Performance is. Now, since we already signed our lease agreement with High Performance, we're not going to change that this year, but I think it would be prudent as a school board to make sure that those numbers are, if nothing else, very similar to one another for the use of that space.
So what is your recommendation, Mr. Law? Want to reduce it to what?
As much as I do very much believe that $100 is a reasonable number. But the one thing that schools and even privately run preschools alike can't control is the enrollment in their classes. So what I would recommend is that we look at reducing the rent for the rental fee for preschool to $50 a month for a 12-month term. But also moving forward, I think we take another look at what High Performance's lease agreement looks like, so those numbers are more in alignment with each other. I simply think we're setting a dangerous precedent by only charging $1 a month for High Performance, but $100 for preschool. Where's the value added there? In my opinion, preschool adds a lot more value to our elementary program, our elementary school, than what High Performance does for our students.
Having those kids ready for kindergarten by the time they get to kindergarten is a big deal too.
And we still have a bunch of people that want us to add preschool to this school.
Yeah.
But that's a topic for another day. That's a topic for another day. So I guess I would like to entertain a motion to accept his recommendation of reducing it to $50 a month. Okay, Collette makes the motion. Is there a second? Probably moved and second that we reduce the kindergarten or the $50 a month. Any discussion?
The only thing that I want to say is that, I'm not saying that I don't think this is fair, I do, and I do think we'll have to look at it, but we also do charge CREA, they have one room, and they pay $500 a month for almost a year. So
those are things that we really have to.
So that's something we might have to
Okay.
look at for next year. We've already did theirs also,
Okay.
and they haven't had a problem, but I just thought, yes, I know it's an outside, but the same thing too, they're servicing hours.
So our discussion right now is to reduce the kindergarten $50.
I just have a clarification question so that we're not comparing apples and oranges.
Right.
High Performance is charging kids? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And
But is it a nonprofit or not?
I don't know, I mean, they have a little square. I just asked Kelly, I don't know who's still doing it.
I know they donate a lot of theirs back, and they do get, but that's.
They were after me for the school to take it over, just give it to us. And we talked and we don't want it. We don't want it.
because they didn't give any, did they give anything back to the school?
They have to like certain organizations.
Yeah, I think
I know if you read, they post it every year, like all the different money they donated, like sometimes.
That was the booster club, not High Performance, wasn't it?
Oh, that's right.
No, I think.
Well, High Performance.
I don't think they're doing
Oh,
it.
and I know they did at first, okay, I didn't know, I know at first they were like some kids, if they couldn't afford it, they would,
Booster Club.
well, but even high performance is.
I would, I mean, that would be,
I don't know what the.
Okay, not to be a butt, I'll get this back on discussion. We are discussing only whether or not we are going to, reduce the elementary, preschool agreement. No, it's not, we're not talking about high performance. Again, is there any more discussion on reducing, the requirement of only $50 a month, for her, you said 12 months, so basically just 9,
Yes.
correct?
Well, she would want the terms of the lease to be a full year, 12 months.
Okay.
And she was okay with that school,
Yeah, theoretically, yeah.
Okay.
She had a little bit of discussion about, utilities and maintenance. Essentially, our school custodial staff would only do necessary repairs in the room. She would continue to clean the room on her own. Obviously, utilities are still covered through the district. Just small notes in the contract itself to help clarify things.
Okay. Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Any more discussion? The motion on the floor is to reduce the rental for the $50 a month. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're gonna go to the employee personnel handbook, Adobe contract. Rob?
So essentially, we have the personnel handbook that we talked about this in June that needs to be updated. Mr. Every, you and I haven't really talked about this just yet, but it's something that you and I can maybe dig into. I know you.
I'm willing.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's something that we will try to get updated, at least the format of it. The content of the personnel handbook itself is pretty solid, but the formatting needs to be redone. So Mr. Every and I will sit down and work on that a little bit. We'll hopefully have something put together. It would have to be by our special meeting in a couple weeks. So.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll keep going on that then. Okay. The next thing would be, okay, so then our board meetings will be set for the third Wednesday of each month, and I know that one thing that, before that should be posted, on the things that we're having the third month, but of course, we're gonna have to change it. August is gonna be an example where we're gonna probably change it and go up a little bit here, but, the idea is to have third month unless anything changes, correct?
Right.
And again, that they should be posted in the thing so that everybody knows when those are, what time. Yeah.
right there, and then,
I can send him a copy of that.
and then of course on the calendar as well.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk about, changing that when we get down to this point. Okay, Mr. Every, you did what about, and you want, go, I'm gonna let you speak.
Well, several years ago, probably past boards and past administrations, put new phones in the high school, or a new phone system in the high school, and at that time, they included some for the elementary school. There are 10 landline phones in the elementary school. 2 of them are in the special ed room. There's one in the kitchen, there's one in the office, there's one in the administrative office, and there's one in the teacher's lounge. One in the cafeteria, so there's 10 of them anyway. And there are none in the classrooms. And to me, it seemed like not a very safe and secure environment. You know, we have to have an ability to communicate from one floor to the next or one room to the next in case of an emergency, in case of a lockdown, whatever it might be, even for stakeholder involvement for that matter, you know, keeping in touch with parents. There are some rooms that have lines to them. I had North Dakota Telephone come and give me an estimate of what it would take. They did it for 27 phones. We could probably get by with 20. There were some rooms that we didn't know what they were for, or if they needed them or whatever. And that was $11,000. I was in contact with the guy from the phone company, he sent me the bid, and I forwarded it to the superintendent and to some others, I think, but, the other day, he sent me, a grant proposal from rural telephones that would allow for $500, so you write the grant, and you can get up to $5,000, that would make this whole thing at $6,000, what we'd end up paying out of our pocket. And that's due on the 29th of August. I would like to see something done so we can communicate from teacher to teacher, classroom to classroom, classroom to parent, and have a safer, secure building. Right now, our teachers are using an app, like a texting app, to communicate back and forth. So, you know, and there was many instances just in my time that we've had soft lockdowns. If some, you know, if an ambulance has to be there, if something goes on, and we should have, you know, soft lockdowns, we have no way to communicate that throughout the building. And so to me, it just seems important that we get some kind of communication in there that's a secure system, so we can communicate between the office and the classroom and the office, the elementary school and the administrative office, the elementary school and high school. They should all work together, and that's the bid. I hope it's in their packet somewhere. Yeah.
I just have a question. How many do we have in the high school? I'm not comparing, buildings
Yeah.
are two different buildings, I'm just curious. I knew we had put some, but I know they aren't in every class.
Understand. We have probably a much better intercom system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to clarify that, so currently they can communicate with the office with a touch of a button, correct?
No,
They can,
they have an intercom system, but from what I'm told, it's very unclear, it's old and it's scratchy and, never gets used. And so, and there is communication from one point A to point B in some places, but not in the important places. You know, I just think it's important that our classrooms have communication with somewhere downstairs, just for safety and security, if nothing else. You know, we used a lot of our, you know, our classroom phones for parental contact, and now we're gonna have a cell phone policy where kids can't have their cell phones all day. And, the way that would work is so the parent calls into the office person runs up 3 flights of stairs to tell whoever it is that they got a message, and, where it'd just be simple to pick it up. But there's been times where we've had to, you know, like I said, somebody gets takes in the hallway and has a, you know, you just never know. To me, I just have never heard of it.
So this would be just more like a.
It would work as a PA as well. Yep.
Specifically go into the third grade.
You could.
And your first step would be to try to get a grant, and then.
Yes. Yep. And I've already started writing some of it. I worked on it today a little bit, and I was going to ask you before I did it, of course, but I started writing it today, and it doesn't look too difficult. But it doesn't close till the 29th of August. So.
And maybe we could also see if then, like you said, maybe they don't need 27, maybe it is only 20 or something, so it might cut, you know, by the time we do that, with the 5,000, it might be half,
Right.
you know, or something or whatever.
So I guess what I'm looking for here is a motion to allow Mr. Everett to go ahead and, try to write this grant and see where we're at, and then he can come, hopefully within the next, when we have a meeting in a couple of weeks, he can come back and say where he's at, and then we
Fair enough.
get information. So I would entertain a motion to let him, explore this opportunity, please.
I'll make a motion that he has, can go ahead and explore the possibility.
Okay, is there a second? Bradley? Okay, probably moved and seconded, Bradley seconded, to allow Sherry to go and, do the grant, and then we'll probably have a meeting here within a couple of weeks, so hopefully within a couple of weeks you have a better, at least a better understanding, and then we're gonna give you permission to go from there. But for now, we're basically giving you, the motion is to, let you
Got it.
explore it. Okay, any more discussion?
let them write the grant, correct?
Yep.
That,
Let them write the grant.
yes, he's gonna write the grant, see what the results of the grant are, and then he's gonna come back and say what the total cost will be. And then we'll make our final decision.
Sounds good.
But it should make it pretty easy to make a final decision. Okay, any other discussion? Discussion. All in favor of allowing him to write the grant and move ahead, please say aye. The motion passes. Okay, now we have to talk about, the special reserve transfer amount revised.
Before you forget, number one up there, or under 8, was Adobe contract. Did we need to do something with that?
Which one?
The
Wave off?
The Adobe contract.
No, they're gonna work on it.
I have Adobe, so,
He has a
so I,
contract with Adobe.
Yep.
The school, I don't believe, has one, so we're gonna try to go.
Well, that's like, are we paying him for that or getting ourselves on Adobe?
That
I
was part of
brought
the
that
discussion
up.
in June, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the most, the talk was those two are gonna work together, come back to us with a recommendation. Am I right on that?
yeah, we'll get it.
Okay.
In terms of a contract, I think it's something maybe we'll talk with Corbin about and see if we can get at least an estimate on what that would look like. So,
Okay. Good question? But
Yeah.
And that's what my understanding was, and then maybe they make that clear enough. Okay, we all good on that? Okay, so now we will go to the special reserve transfer amount revised.
Yeah, this is something really small, I just want to be transparent. I told you guys at the meeting, we were gonna transfer a certain amount, $26,060.95, and then after the meeting, between the meeting and then when I actually made the transfer, we got a tax collection check for $14, and that upped our amount, so I actually transferred $26,075, so I transferred $15 more than what I said at the meeting. I just want to let you know.
And make sure you put that in your minutes, how much you transferred, so it's in your minutes, and then I think we'll be okay. Everybody good?
Can
Very
I
good.
football
have a
sub,
question about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, go ahead.
Because it appears as though we transferred 100,000 for lunch, and I don't know that we made a motion on that.
Yeah, we were all under the impression we didn't have to. I certainly would if I was told to, but I guess that's like a yearly thing you guys always do. So, well, you always do this, but I was under the impression you didn't have to, and so was everybody else talking. So I can.
I don't know.
Yeah, are you more comfortable with having a motion to?
Well, I'm more comfortable with doing how we're supposed to do,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
I figured since we made a motion to do this, we would.
Right, because I kind of did ask for that too, and I thought
Like
somebody
we
was that
didn't see it.
this is like a different actual fund or lunch, I mean, it is too, but this is like taxpayer collection money, that's why you have to have a motion, or hot lunch money is.
Just moving it from account.
But I mean, I don't care, we can too, but I think, I had asked about that, and I had a look, and I don't think last year we made a motion, so I didn't know.
I guess having a motion,
It won't hurt.
it won't hurt, so
No,
let's
it doesn't
do it the right way and
So
cover
we
the
have-
right spot.
Well, in
So
this case, then we had, I believe it was about, well, it would have been about 125, give or so. We want to keep 25, so I transferred 25 or 100. So then we keep about 25,000 in there for this new year until we start getting our reimbursements again. But I did also get another check because I did our June, so there's
And there
about
was 30,
just a little over 30,000 we
yeah,
kept
it
in
was
there.
33,000.
Actually, we can make a motion.
Yeah.
You want to make a motion?
Okay.
No, it's not on there. So, we will move on, and we will, if we need one, we'll do it later, okay, we'll put it on the thing. All right, so, we all good? Okay, so on these first readings, do we have to go through them individually, or we can do them all at once? James is saying all is one, but James is not on the committee, so.
There wasn't a lot, unless. What we did, and then, there wasn't a lot done to each one of them. That's what we have to do. There wasn't a lot that we did in each one. You want me just to tell you, and I can do that one? Or?
Go ahead.
Why don't we do that?
Okay, ABEC, the only thing we did there is, essentially, it was the second page where it was bolded, that bottom paragraph is a written request. You know, A written request for a refund of monies remaining in an enrolled student's meal account at the end of the school year must be submitted to the district office. And it told us to do a specific date, we just wanted to say by 30 days.
Within 30 days.
Instead of, within 30 days instead of a specific date, because I don't wanna say 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, we said 30 days. That was about the only thing we changed on that one.
The only thing even to really, cause I did a pretty deep dive into this, and the only thing really that isn't by law is, it does say that we can refer to the debt collection, so we, as a board, could choose whether or not we can do that. Other than that, it's pretty much mandated, everything that's on there.
Okay, DBA, about the only thing we did there, the very first paragraph, where it says all licensed 12 months, and then you put down and full-time and part-time employees greater than 20 hours per week will be prorated. That we added there. We clarified on use of sick leave, paragraph 3, when it has down your mother, father, and all this. We had missed having brothers and sisters on there. And then we go down 2 paragraphs where it starts out after being absent for 2 consecutive days. We wanted to make this one match the negotiated agreement, so we have 2 sentences. After being absent for 2 consecutive days, the board may require a note from the medical provider confirming the need for sick leave for classified and admin. And the other one will say after being absent for 2 consecutive days, the superintendent may require a note from the medical provider confirming the need for sick leave for ancillary staff. So that's what we did on, that's the only changes on that one. FFI, there was very little. We talked about the school approved devices, and of course we wanted to be approved by administration, not by classroom teacher. We don't want them to be responsible for making the decisions. And then there was under limitations or allowances. If there needs to be a special approval, district may limit or allow student access. We also want this to be up to a coach, teacher, or advisor. So let's say if you're on a particular field trip, we want that either coach, teacher, advisor to say, nope, you're not using them at all in this one. Like say, for example, we're going to go watch court or something. We wanted to let them have the ability to say, no, not even on this one, or maybe the next time they might be doing something when they go, and maybe they can use it in between. So we wanted them to have some say on that. And naturally, of course, we did not include employees on this. This is just for students. And we didn't put in the violations because we felt it was both that the violations should be in the elementary and high school handbooks, so that way we don't have to change the policy every year. Because with it being new, what if they change it a little bit next year? Then you have to redo the policy every year. Well, this way they can keep their handbooks instead. So violations aren't going to be included. And that's kind of what School Board Association said it was better to do also. And I think that was all on that one. And the last one, under GBBA guest speakers. Let's see, the second group on the front page where it starts off with the principal approved the teacher's request for a guest speaker, the principal shall. We just crossed out that first sentence that provided notice to parents of the presentation. We didn't want to make it there, teachers showing a movie that day, or something that principal has to notify every single parent every time. Then under number 2, where it says require the speaker to agree in writing, the principal or the teacher will talk to that person if they're presenting. We want to make sure that they're following all the policies of the school, no profanity, vulgarity. We aren't going to maybe make them sign something, but they will make sure that they are following all the appropriate manner. And we aren't going to make them keep a record of every date and time a guest speaker is in, because obviously the teacher will probably have that in their lesson plan for anybody. So that was the only change we made on that. So that was it for those, if you're comfortable with that.
And then we talked about how it's controversial.
Oh, right, it says it in here, yeah, I guess that we didn't change. If it was controversial, the parents have the right to opt out. And that's in here.
So in order for them to have the right to opt out, in those circumstances, then the principals will need to send information to the parents, but not for every line item.
Okay, so I guess I would, entertain a motion to accept these 5 on the first readings then. Okay,
I'll make a second.
a second, and, so probably moving second, and I'll do this right for you, that we, accept ABEC, BAA, DDA, FFI, and GBBA on the first reading. Any discussion? Discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, now we need to talk about the August meeting date, and I guess we kind of thought maybe we need to move this up a little bit because of the budget's gotta be done by a certain date,
By the 15th, right?
by the 15th. So if we go with the third Wednesday, as we pass the 15th.
That is the 20th.
So we need to probably go to the second Wednesday, which would be the what? 13th. And, we need to meet, and so then we have to pass the budget, but I know we would like to talk about the budget before we pass it, so we're gonna have to meet sometime between now and August 13th. And so, almost 7 o'clock in the morning. Once Robbie, starts driving bus, we're not gonna be able to do that, so,
Thank you for driving bus.
yeah.
You man.
But at the same time, you farmers want us to be, you wanna get it done, so you can be farming too, so,
Well, this will be done before bus starts.
you gonna leave it to me and Mr. Loft to set the date and get it out, cause I don't know when he's gonna get stuff done, so I don't really wanna set it now. So Mr. Loft and I will set a date and send it out between now and August 13th. And then we'll have to get that, and we'll take care of that, so it will, I'd really like to have a 7 o'clock meeting, so,
I will be gone the 30th and 31st, so.
of July. And I think I'm on the 1st and 2nd, so I'll work with Mr. Loft, and we'll send it out, and then you guys have a chance to do that. I was really picky this month, thank you for everybody switching. I know Vanessa's got a commitment tomorrow, I'm missing my All-Star game today, by the way.
I know.
I got tape though, anyway, so.
It's not the same.
Anyway,
You wanna know the score? I'll tell you the score.
Don't score, I don't wanna hear it. Anyway, Vanessa had a commitment, so thank you everybody for working with that. And I think it was important that we're all here for the first meeting. I just would like to say, it's really nice to see 3 principals and being here in our July meeting, that normally doesn't happen. And I'll give you credit, Mr. Crowe, you're important. It's really nice to see you guys. And with that, we wish Mr. Loft the best, and I think his door is open, he said in his thing, so if you have any questions, when you hear things, talk to them.
Yes.
Let's have a great year.
And please have the understanding that, yes, I've worked in school administration for 5 years, but transitioning from a principal to a superintendent it's different. So it's gonna take me a little while to get my feet wet and understand every in and out of everything we do.
We'll give you 2 weeks.
Well, my 2 weeks is today, so actually it was yesterday. But yeah.
Anyway,
Around here, aren't they?
all I'm saying is, open attitude, if you hear things, go in and talk to them about it. If you have a concern,
Please.
don't talk to other people, go in and talk to them about it. And I'm looking forward to these 4 guys creating a great bond, and I'm looking forward to a great year. All right, Mr. Everett, before you leave, I need to talk to you real quick.
Okay.
And then, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A second? Okay, probably moving second, the July meeting will be adjourned. We will meet sometime between now and August, and Mr. Walsh and I will let you know, okay? All right, thank you for coming.
Harvey,
You should be on there now.